want to thank everyone for attending this meeting tonight. And so I want to welcome everyone to the Audit Finance Committee meeting here at December 5th, 2022. We'll start with council taking attendance right now.
Sure, Madam Chairwoman. Ms. Willingham?
Present.
Peter?
Here.
Bergdorf?
Here.
Clay?
Here.
Grimm?
Here.
Ray Joyce?
Here.
Lakakis?
Here.
Mayo?
Here.
And Bruce Key's things are here. So at least 8
sitting
present.
next to me 5 minutes ago.
Yes, can we get him, please? He is present.
Yeah, he's definitely here.
Okay, we'll start now with Majority Council reading the first order of business here.
Sure. Item 1 is a resolution of the County of Albany, New York, authorizing the execution of a financing agreement by and between Albany and the Dormitory Authority of the State of New York, and the execution of a municipal cooperation agreement and related agreements in connection with all of the foregoing.
Who's going to speak on this?
I can, or Brandon and I were both
I
speaking about this.
Yeah, you can get it.
So this is the Capital District Youth Correction Facility. This is the joint funding that we're doing with DASNY to cover all 4 member communities. This is for the larger expanded program. And what you're passing tonight is simply a revision, some redlined language that the lawyers have put together for the offertory statements so that the Dormitory Authority can go out and sell these bonds on our behalf.
Are there any questions from any members? If not, I'll...
Motion. Second.
Okay, I got a motion from Mr. Clay.
I just a quick question. Have we talked about why this is coming up so last minute?
Say again.
Why this is coming up with
It's
the 11th?
because it was passed last month, and there were some further changes that DASNY wanted that didn't make it in because there was so much back and forth between the attorneys at the last month.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I just learned about this from Andrew's announcement, so, did anyone else get notice, or I got
Well,
notice?
Yes,
Yep.
but the one thing though, we did see this already, isn't that right? Could you just explain one more time why we're seeing it again and what the change is?
So to go through each change out, actually.
Not each
Okay.
change.
Okay.
But,
So just in general terms, this is for the expanded program. We'd originally bonded $6 million as the county. Now the state has mandated a much larger program or project to bring the facility into compliance, but they're also reimbursing us for it. So this is for the full amount above what we originally bonded. We'll be get reimbursed for that as well. And this is simply to cover some language, mostly in the intermunicipal agreements between the 4 counties as well as between us and DASNY, just to kind of lay everybody's plates out on this. But no dollars have changed since it was last one filed.
Okay.
Mr. Bergdorf,
Speaking as a former DASNY employee, but not speaking for DASNY, this is not unusual. When the bond counsel and the underwriters council and the clients council finally get together and put together a set of documents, it is not unusual at all, especially in a multi-party financing where you have 4 specific municipal entities to get it right. So this does not surprise me.
okay, very good. So I got a motion from Mr. Clay and I got a second from Mr. Peter. If there are no other questions, take a vote on this now. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous, thank you very much.
Item 2 is authorizing agreements with SUNY Albany and Catholic Charities Care Coordination Services regarding the U.S. Department of Justice 2022 Comprehensive Opioid Stimulant Substance Abuse Grant Program and amending the 2022 Albany County budget.
So good evening. This is authorization, to subaward a portion of a grant that was previously came before this body, I think 2 weeks back. The reason that this is a little bit late is because we weren't actually anticipating needing to subaward any of this. We were going to keep it all in-house and we were going to subaward everything probably at the end of the first quarter of 2023 once kind of some of the other moving parts of this grant were figured out. But the University at Albany is in a position to begin their evaluation of LEAD as soon as possible, so we figured it'd be prudent to kind of give them that extra 3 months that we would have perhaps lost during this upcoming kind of blackout period for the legislature. And moreover, we feel that the Catholic Charities Care Coordination Services, which is providing the case management aspect of this initiative, is in a very buttoned up spot, so that's kind of, it's more put to rest than some of the other pieces of this contract. For SUNY Albany, The amount that is being subawarded to them is $245,000, and the amount that's being subawarded to Catholic Charities Care Coordination Services is $370,000. It's for the period to start October 2022 through September 2025. Any questions?
Mr. Bergdorf?
Am I reading this correctly in that these monies, which are federal monies, are just programmatically plugged in for just the city of Albany?
So, not entirely. So, the only aspect of this program that is touching the city of Albany from a direct dollars and cents standpoint is the portion of case management there's an additional case manager that's going to be added to the city of Albany to pick up what is known as social contact referrals. So to date in the city of Albany, people are only eligible to be diverted on certain charges. They have to have been in the act of committing an eligible offense. I guess social contact is more of a proactive type diversion, or not even really a diversion, it's more of like a referral to get proactive, preventative type services before a crime is committed, but it is typically limited to justice-involved folks. So people are kind of teeter-tottering on the precipice of being justice-involved or have previously been involved with the system. Does that answer the question?
No.
Okay.
Is this sort of like lead where you have to sort of opt in to lead and things like that?
Correct, yeah, so
Since
the,
other municipalities haven't opted in yet, they can't really.
yeah, so we're looking at expanding this initiative into Cohoes and Waterville. That's why only two aspects of this grant are being subawarded today. The ones that are really buttoned up, the evaluation, which is just a independent, robust evaluation of the initiative. Is it working? Is this money that the federal, state, and county, as well as our local partners investing in this program, is it getting the intended outcomes we're looking for? That's nothing programmatic, that's just Albany getting paid to do research and kind of working with the initiative. The case management side of it, there is going to be an additional case manager in the city of Albany, again focusing on these social contact diversions, but the other money is really for outside the city. So there's going to be a project management component of the grant that's going to be project management focused outside the city of Albany, because these grants are typically to they can't be used to supplant already existing initiatives. It has to be in addition to or on top of what's already being done.
Okay, Pat, but the question is, when you say that the extra case manager will be used to be will supplant services in other municipalities, is that the Waterville and Cohoes you were talking about?
Yeah. The case.
So this is basically a program for the cities in Albany County.
For whoever's opted into it, for whoever's expressed interest in it. We're looking, we have reached out to many of the jurisdictions in the county. Similar to like Accord, there has to be like a lot of things in place before the initiative can just be brought to a jurisdiction. There's a lot of training that has to happen with the police departments. There's local laws that have to be passed. There's operational considerations that need to take place. Everybody who participates in this initiative needs to sign like releases of information so that they can have their information and medical records shared between a ton of different providers.
It's not like you kind of opt in, get the money. You really have to rework the entire system.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think you have to start with the prep now.
Is Colony doing
Or
this?
before this.
Okay, from the way I'm reading this too, and, maybe I'm not understanding it, but I don't think that's the case. It says the justification is county executive with the authorization from the policy coordinating group or Albany is requesting legislative authorization to accept the funds. this is all 100% federal, okay? And they were awarded from fiscal year 2022 a grant cycle on behalf of the Albany Lead Initiative. So we're here just to go ahead and to accept the funding. The issue in regards to where it's gonna go and this, that, and so forth, I think that's probably for another meeting, you know, so that we can really get into it. And there's two, yes, and there's more than one, it's two, so,
Well, and I also, Madam Chair, if I could,
Yes.
I'd simply make the point that if you want sort of lead funding, you have to be a participant lead. So, you know, the municipalities that have expressed interest and set the groundwork for lead are the ones who are going to get lead funding on behalf, and monies that are coming from lead.
right, but the end sentence here says this grant is 100% federally funded, there is no county share, and Albany County is strictly acting as a pass-through
That is correct.
entity, since funds are being sub-awarded. Okay,
It sounds fair, there's a whole regime around this and the money's tied to the regime.
Right.
great.
Look, I will support this. I will be welcome for the day when one of these programs comes through that actually takes care of the entire county.
Say again.
Takes care of the entire county, not just the cities, the suburbs, because this is being used with opioid funds, okay? The opioid problems don't know any boundaries. There are as many, as some of my fellow members from Colony and Guilderland know, there are more opioid deaths than anybody cares to admit. So anytime we have a program that is using those opioid monies, I would like to see more of a balance. And I realize you're saying this is a pass-through.
I'd love to see Colony join lead.
Well, you know, maybe I'll call the chief of police tomorrow and
I agree, I think it's a good
and
program,
see
and I think everyone should join.
what the story is. But I just,
Your point is well taken, and you solved your problem too. You need to talk to, you know,
Yep.
police. Okay,
Madam- yeah.
I got a motion.
Madam Chair, yeah, what would be helpful if somebody could draft a memo to these municipalities saying what it takes to join me? I mean, they may not be that aware, or at least not aware of the specifics. Because it seems to me everybody can benefit from this opioid money. So if there's a way we can make that easier, that would be helpful to all municipalities.
I think that that would be something that's pretty simple to do, but also I think it's something that if we look back on how we took lead on to begin with, all of that is in there. So we'll make sure we'll make that
who is
information
the
open.
contact person for lead in Albany County?
We'll
So
make sure.
there's two project, if I may, there's two project managers that are based and solely focused on the operations in the city of Albany, and then one is focused on kind of expanding the initiative outside of the city of Albany to other jurisdictions in the county. And there were a lot of like pre-planning meetings with a lot of the electeds, as well as the police chiefs across the county. People need to be on board with doing this, committing funds to it, and also committing to like institutional and cultural change within their police forces, as well as their operations kind of as a whole. So I think that the two jurisdictions that were considered this time were in a better position to implement this program. And if you kind of looked at where the need was for the resources to go, this kind of the types of clients that are served by LEAD tend to reside in the cities within Albany County. That's not to say that there shouldn't be diversions in Colony and Guilderland and elsewhere. It's just, I think that they went where kind of the need was the greatest and where they were going to have the greatest impact first, and also where there was an expressed, an affirmative interest of the municipality to participate.
Well, I'd like to follow up on Mark's suggestion. Maybe somebody could put together a packet which could go to the members who represent areas that are not a part of LEAD, laying out the program and how to be considered.
Yeah, and I'd also be curious to see who's been contacted already and what their
Mhm.
response
Yeah,
was.
I would-
Because, and that's not like saying like, let's do both, right?
Things have changed.
But
Right.
let's keep in mind though, LEAD is not new, and how it was formed is not new. We've seen this, you know, and it's something that, you know, we brought on, I think it's, what?
8 or 9 years ago.
Yeah, so, but I agree with you in regards to, you know, we can get you more information on it. So I'd like to entertain a motion.
I'd like to make one.
All right,
I got
second
a
that.
motion from Ms. Lukakas, got a second from Mr. Peter. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous, thank you very much.
Item 3 is authorizing the distribution of mortgage taxes for the period April 1st, 2022 through September 30th, 2022.
So, Madam Chair, this is a pretty basic breakdown. We come to you semi-annually for it as the clerk files it with the state. This is just the apportionment of the mortgage taxes that he collects. And then it's broken out, as you can see, there's a chart in there listed out as basic, local, additional, and special additional. Just because I know Mr. Bergdorf has asked this the last time I presented this. Basic goes to the municipality where the house was sold. Local is us. Additional, it goes to CDTA as per an act of the state legislature. Special additional goes into the state mortgage fund.
Madam Chair, if there are no questions, I make a motion.
Second.
I got a motion from Mr. Peter, I got a second from Mr. Bruschi. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Number 4.
Item 4 is authorizing an agreement with the New York State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services regarding the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program and amending the 2022 Albany County budget.
So we're requesting authorization to accept hazard mitigation program grant funding from FEMA via the New York State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services to update the county's hazard mitigation plan and amend the 2022 budget to incorporate these funds. This is a $200,000 grant, of which there is a 10% county share. We'll be amending the 2022 county budget, $180,000 to incorporate these funds, and we'll be going out to procure a engineering consultant to update the plan. We'll be working with all 17 municipalities in the county, and hopefully can get it done by the end of next year.
Thank you. Are there any questions for anyone?
Can I make a motion, Madam Chair?
I got a motion from Mr. Peter, I got a second from Mr. Clay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous, thank you very much. I
Second.
got a motion to adjourn.
Thank you for taking everything.